problem with the answer to too many questions. You're never going to have too many answers. That's a good thing.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Belbry.
This is a public hearing, and you cannot stop me. You cannot stop it in a public hearing. I have another 3 sentences, but you cannot stop at a public hearing. That would be a major violation. This is a public hearing.
Legal counsel, is that true?
In a public hearing, he does have the right to speak.
Yes, sir. Okay, going forward, whenever a council member asks the administration for important information, and the response is, I didn't bring it, or the response is nothing because they're not here, or it's upstairs, the council should say, go get it. We'll recess, and we'll be able to respond, or we'll be able to vote when we have the full answers. If the administration cannot or will not provide the requested information, the council has an obligation to table the matter or to vote the matter down. The public deserves transparency, which you obviously have a problem with. The council deserves complete answers, which I don't understand why you guys don't understand that. But more importantly, the public deserves those complete answers. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak on ordinance 9-26?
Hi, everybody. My name's Karen Brubaker-Buss. It's the first time I've ever come up and done anything like this, so I'm a little nervous. I've been coming and attending the last few meetings, and I've heard a lot about the fire station. And I do have a lot of questions that don't seem to be getting answered that other people have asked that I wonder about myself. Things like the lease finance agreement and how that works. And is it a lease finance agreement or is it a bot agreement, which they seem to be two different things. And I'm not clear on which one you're going with. The amount of money, $11.5 million. I would like a couple of other people see that number go down. It seems like Muncie is not in a position to spend that kind of money. And it looks like the way it's being done is because there's no other avenue for Muncie to have the money to build another fire station. So I would just ask that you take more consideration and try to do a little more with getting the cost down.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else wishing to speak on ordinance 9-26?
Rick Answer, newsman and author. From what I heard, we need to put a few things in context. Number one, we have the right to speak, absolutely, in the Constitution of the United States. Number two, this government's already being investigated by the state for breaking open records law, and I would hope that it would not get another investigation for breaking open meetings law. And as far as the context here with what we're talking about, you're not spending our money, you're indebting us for the next 22 years to the tune of, let's see, almost 16 million plus interest. And that doesn't include the 12 million plus interest on the last station. I think others have said to you
Who what? Oh, yeah.
Call this meeting to order of the Muncie Common Council, the August the 3rd, 2026 meeting. If you'll stand, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Basham, will you lead us, please?
Join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the blessing given by Dr. Sandra Whitaker, former Muncie Community Schools Administrator and current Muncie Ethics Council member.
Shall we pray? Lord, thank you for this time together, this opportunity that is unique because we have freedom in this country to meet in this manner. And may we be effective. May we display the integrity that needs to be displayed. May we remember whom we represent, how they wish to be represented, and why they are represented. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
Amen.
You may be seated.
Assistant principal?
No.
I first met our Citizen of the Month more than 20 years ago. As associate principal, I welcomed his group of participants from Ball State University beginning their semester at Southside High School. He was eager to experience life in front of a classroom full of students and get on with his career in education. Not long after he completed that semester at Southside, he was told by his commanding officers to spend the holidays with his family because he would be deployed to the Middle East in the new year. Thankfully, he returned safely from the Iraq War to Muncie and began his career in the classroom. He soon became the Project Lead the Way coordinator at Muncie Central High School. He then continued to grow professionally and before long was promoted to assistant principal, where he continues to lead. When I was named interim principal at Central High School, he was my right-hand man. Over the years, he has directed the school's commencement, raised a family with his wife Brandy, navigated the treacherous waters of high school leadership, foiled a home break-in, survived serious health issues, and has earned the respect of his students, their parents, his colleagues, and members of our community, including me. We owe him a debt of gratitude. For all these years, he has helped to keep Muncie Central High School a safe place for students to learn, for teachers to guide, and administrators to lead. It's such a pleasure to honor a real-life hero as the Muncie City Council Citizen of August 2026, Justin Oliver. Want to say something? Sure.
Thank you, Dale. Pull this out real quick. When you receive an ominous message from Dale Basham to be somewhere, but you're not allowed to know why, you kind of get I had a feeling, so I just wrote down a few things. I've always been more of a behind-the-scenes logistical type of person, so standing at a podium and giving a speech isn't really my thing, so I'll try to be a very smart friend I know said, be bold, be brief, and be gone. So I'm going to try that really quick. So I want to thank everybody who's been a part of my journey as a dedicated Bearcat. There's far too many people to thank individually, but please know I appreciate all of you. I actually started my 20th consecutive year at Muncie Central last Monday, and I'm pretty proud of that. Most people don't know, but I was born on East 15th Street on the south side before my family moved to the country when I was very young. But even so, I was still raised a Bearcat, going to the field house, waiting in the snow for tickets, and cheering on Central every chance I got. Then in sixth grade, I got on the bus and found out I wasn't going to Muncie Central. I was going to Delta. Needless to say, I was not happy. My parents are both Bearcat graduates, and I assumed I was going to be one too. So while I spent 13 years in the Delta school system, I'm now beginning my 20th year with Muncie Schools, and I can honestly say I bleed purple. You can see I'm head to toe, I'm purple. So, in fact, it's actually been longer than 20 years. As Dale spoke about, I student taught at Wilson Middle School and had the privilege of coaching under the legendary Mike Paul at Muncie Southside. And I loved every second of that. I love Muncie. I take great pride in our city and our school system, the relationships I've built with the Muncie Police Department. Mayor Dan, I saw you here. Chief Sloan, Muncie Fire. And also, we have a Delaware County Safe Schools Committee where all of a lot of people from every school system in Delaware County, we meet and we work on keeping our schools safe. That means a great deal to me. So our school board and central office have been incredibly supportive throughout the years. I also want to thank my boss, Chris Walker. He's starting his 11th year. That's the longest time I've ever had a boss before, so he's more like a brother than a boss or a colleague, so that's been great. And then finally, my wife and kids, they're over there, and they've put up with me being at Muncie Central and Bearcat events way longer than I've been at home, so I appreciate it.
Roll call, please.
McIntosh,
Present.
Basham,
Here.
Mason,
Here.
Dishman,
Present.
Garrett,
Present.
Selby,
Here.
Gillian,
Here.
Powell,
Here.
Green.
Here.
All present.
Entertain a motion to approve minutes of the July 6th meeting.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Silly.
Mr. President, I would like to make some corrections from last month's minutes, if I may. On page 7 of the minutes, second paragraph, where it says Councilperson Selby expressed her admiration from the city's various neighborhood organizations. If you skip 3 more sentences, the fourth one says, she specifically questioned the McKinley neighborhood team regarding the request to suspend the rules for immediate adoption. And then it goes, she asked what's the practical gain would be in passing it that night versus waiting 30 days, and whether there were specific projects ready to start. These were not my comments. These were Mr. President Green's comments. I went back and looked at the video, and I would like to correct the minutes.
Okay. Do we have a second on the correction?
I'll second that.
Okay, let's vote on the amendment. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. And we'll go to approve the minutes as amended now.
Thank you. Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Powell,
Yes.
Selby,
Yes.
Gullion,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
McIntosh,
Yes.
Basham,
Yes.
Dishman,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Green.
Yes.
Minute.
On to boards and commissions. Do we have any this evening? Committee reports then.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I have the Youth Center Committee report.
Okay.
To the citizens of Muncie and the members of the Common Council, I am writing in response to the mayor's July 28th community update. The update states that the committee voted to recommend the Industry United Methodist Church as a location for the future community center. However, to my understanding, no formal motion was made, no vote was called, and no recorded vote was taken to recommend any location. If that understanding is correct, the public record should be corrected to accurately reflect what occurred. Transparency means more than holding open meetings. It requires that what is, what is communicated publicly matches what actually took place. Residents deserve factual and truthful reporting, especially when public resources and long-awaited community projects are involved. I respectfully request that the administration review the July 28 update and issue a retraction. I am requesting clarification on how the information in the July update was obtained. If no formal motion or recorded vote occurred, what documentation supports the claim made in the update? Transparency requires that official communications are grounded in the actual public record. I respectfully ask for the basis of that statement. Also, the mayor mentioned the resolution 15-25 that Council Mason and myself co-authored, saying that the council appointed the 5 neighborhood associations to a committee without stating the fact 2 amendments were added to the resolution, without risking losing the resolution of all. We together had to go ahead and vote yes for the amendment of the resolution. The council voted 9-0, putting the youth center in industry neighborhood, which seems to me that manipulated wording to get around that. In our committee meeting on July 27, 2026, at the Mock Street Church, at the July 23rd Industry Neighborhood Association meeting, I said that the mayor needs to stand by his promise and do right by the Industry Neighborhood Association by giving them the $500,000, or at least give them the old park building and he can park for $1, since that seems to be the going price now. This way, he can go down as the mayor who did good on the city's promise of 20-plus years to replace the Madison Street Multi-Use Center, the statement he made in his community update. And the United Methodist Church on Mock Avenue is not an industry neighborhood. In the May meeting, the committee was told the $500,000 stays at the Mock Street Church. That puts this committee in a bad position. An offer you can't refuse, so to speak. If the committee pushed for the center to be an industry, the neighborhood would be at risk of losing the funding. Oh, by the way, I am a member of the Industry Neighborhood Association because I pay my dues. Leslie McCory, you saw the writing on the wall. Mr. Mason, do you want an opportunity to speak on that since both our names was in that update?
Yes, thank you, Bill. The mayor's July 28th community update raises questions about how information was developed and verified. I was at that meeting. There was no formal motion or recorded vote on deciding where a location would be. And I would like for the mayor, if he would, to cite the minutes or official records supporting your enthusiastic community update.
Thank,
Any other comments on the committee report?
I'm done. I needed to set the record straight because I know it wasn't no vote taken. And I am a member of the Industry Neighborhood Association.
Okay.
We need to have that center in industry as this whole council, 9-0 vote suggested. That's all I got to say on this.
Any other comments on the committee report?
I'm sorry.
Any other committee report? Yeah, Mr. Dishman?
Yes. On July 22nd, we had a public service meeting about the new fire station, and we had some questions. We started out with the first meeting, then we had to do that second meetings. So Ms. Gullion was the first one on the first meeting to talk, so I let Mr. Green be the first this time to talk. And he asked questions about the financial stuff of the firehouse and a few other questions about the financials. And then we went to Ms. Sarah Gullion. She had concerns about the Ball State money. Said we needed a contract with them. That we shouldn't trust Ball State or something like that. And I showed her a letter that Ball State wrote Mr. Mearns pledging $1.5 million. Then she went on to ask about questions about how many people's going to be in this new fire station. And I think Chief Burford said 8 to 10 people, and she wanted to know why so many. And he told her that we have EMTs are going to be in that building, and we're going to have some ambulances and some training done out of that building. And when she got done with her questions, I asked Chief Burford if it's going to be a 2-story and it's going to have stairway and the pole in the building, and he acknowledged yes. And then I asked Greg Martz of GM Development if he was going to use local union labor, and he said he would. And I asked do local union labor. He said he would. And seeing what they done out there on Station 6, I don't see any problems out there. And I asked another question the last time about the why don't they get some land from Ball State, but it's all geothermal stuff out there. They can't build on top of geothermal stuff. So that's the reason why they're not getting any, space from Ball State. So after I looked over at Mr. Green, I said, do you have any more questions, Mr. Green? He said no. Then I looked over to Ms. Gullion and I said, do you have any more questions? And she said no. Then I looked back at Mr. Green and said, are you sure? He said yes. And Ms. Gullion said, so I said, I want to make a motion for favorable or non-favorable. So I said, all in favor say yes, and all opposed say no. But we had 2 yeses, which Jeff and I said yes, and Ms. Gullion abstained. And I adjourned the meeting.
Okay, thank you for that report. Any other committee reports? Okay, moving on then. We've been asked at this time to entertain a motion to suspend this meeting at this moment to go into a public hearing on ordinance 8-26.
Resolution.
Resolution, excuse me, yes. Do I have one willing to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that
And second? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. We'll suspend the meeting for a moment, go into public. Yes, Mr. Murphy.
Good evening, council. I've had the opportunity to discuss Resolution 826 with the administration by their council. In exchange for assurances that the council will receive revised and thorough written responses from the Controller's Office to their previously submitted questions by October 16, 2026, a date chosen because of the upcoming budget season, there has been a proposal made to adjourn and postpone this public hearing to a date certain, a special meeting on November 16, 2026 at 7 p.m. in this room.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Okay.
We're back to the,
So that we will need a motion to resume the,
motion to resume
I-
common meeting.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. So, ordinances previously introduced. Ordinance 9-26.
Okay.
We need to have a motion to bring this out of committee. So do I have a motion to bring this out of committee?
I so move.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Ashton,
Yes.
McIntosh,
Yes.
Selby,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Dishman,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Gullion,
Yes.
Green.
Yes. Now you're reading.
Okay, ordinance nine, excuse me, -26. An ordinance of the City of Muncie, Indiana approving matters related to lease financing of fire station project.
Have a motion to adopt ordinance 9-26.
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any questions from the council? Anyone from the audience?
Yeah.
Roll, yes.
I want to bring up the 1.5 million again from Ball State. As Chair Dishman did mention, we did talk about this at the Public Services meeting. I'm still of the opinion that we could reduce the amount asked for from the 11.5 to the 10 million, because as he mentioned, we all do have a letter from Ball State telling us that they're giving us 1.5 million in a lump sum that will go directly to Station 5. So I would like for, I guess, the administration to talk about that. The controller didn't have specific information about that when I asked about it at the Public Services meeting. So maybe Mayor Ridenhour would be able to answer exactly where that stands with Ball State.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Do you have a specific question or?
Yes, first of all, we've got a letter. Are you planning on a contract, to sign a contract with Ball State?
We have, their board has already approved it. President Mearns has put in writing that they will pay that however we want. He says, you don't have to have it all up front if you don't want. We can use it to pay down debt. The thing about the 11.5, if we use the bot process that we've been working on, that maxes out the price. And so if there are savings, like there were on Station 6, If there are savings, then we get to capture those. So I don't want to necessarily borrow $10 million up front because that may impact. The financial advisors may have different thoughts on that, but that's how it was explained to me. So I would personally not borrow. I'm a person who attempts to not borrow in my own life, and so I would borrow as little as possible. So I would personally use that 1.5 to immediately help fund the fire station so that we never draw on the whole 11.5. You don't pay interest on the 11.5 until you borrow on it, until you access it. So that would be my preference, but the council gets to pick. So if the council wants to do it, to borrow the whole 11.5 and use it as the first 2 years' payments, I suppose you could. To me, it's better not to pay the interest, but that's just my personal opinion.
Can I just do a follow-up on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, Jeff, if that's okay.
Yeah.
You can. It's not my.
Yes, so, but you say, that we've got, then we'll have a cushion possibly, okay? And we understand that stays with us, but it only applies to the fire stations. So my concern is, that's great for the fire stations. I totally understand why they would want that. I know that other fire stations also need help. I know 5 needs to be built, period. 5 needs to be built. The other stations also. We did that last time. We had some leftover from what was borrowed for 6, and they were able to make some improvements at other stations. That's great, and I appreciate that. That's a good way. That's a good way for them to do that. However, as the council, we don't only have one department that we have to look at. We have to look at, just like you do, multiple departments throughout the city. So I'm concerned with the cushion. I'm concerned with the transparency aspect of that. I feel like if they need something at other stations, those should be brought to us, as each station. So that's where I stand on that, reduction.
Sure.
Mr. President?
Yes.
So, Mr. Mayor, what you're saying is that you want to borrow as little as possible, then wouldn't you support amending to reduce the amount of ordinance 9-26 to 10 million and only dealing with that, since we know that we have a lump sum of 1.5 million? Could you just explain why that isn't?
Yeah, would it be all right if I bring one of the experts up? Again, I'm relaying information that I have been told.
Well, and I'm just asking based on what you've said, is that, you
So
want to
great.
borrow as little
Are
as
you able to
possible.
help with that?
We have 1.5 coming
Bob?
in.
Yeah, let's let someone who is an actual
Thank you.
involved in that. We pay them to do this.
All right.
Hardly pay him, he says.
I'm Bob Swins with the London Witty Group, and really what we're talking about is timing. We're asking for a not-to-exceed bond issue of $11.5 million. We have a fairly long process still to go, some more approvals, some wait periods. If during that time the money shows up in the bank and we can say to investors, we have all the money we need with your buying these bonds, we can reduce the bond issue. But if for some reason we fail to get that money in a timely manner, then we would really want to issue the full amount that we can to pay for the fire station. And then if we would get the 1.5 later, we can use it for other fire station purposes. We can use it to pay down debt or for whatever we need. But it's really kind of a timing. We're not saying we're going to definitely issue 11.5. This is not to exceed 11.5.
Okay. Follow-up question.
Follow-up question. So would you then advocate for paying down debt then, with that 1.5?
I would.
Is there penalty for paying that debt down sooner?
Well, that wouldn't obviously be my decision. If that's what you and the administration decided we would do, is pay down debt, we would try to work with the bankers to figure out a way that we could do that without penalty.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Makes sense.
Okay. I know that when I spoke at the public services meeting, I did ask the controller about a contract, but also about when he said, we don't know when we can get that. You just mentioned that again. Now, the mayor just said that they said we can have it whenever and however. I guess we need an answer about that. Like, when could we get this money from Ball State?
Letter states it pretty clearly. I'll just read it to you.
Well, we've got it here.
I know you, but I can read it so that the public has it. I do have to find it, but I do have the letter from Ball State. They will do that upon,
I've got it here, I can read it.
Okay.
Provide a one-time lump sum payment of $1.5 million when you have confirmed that you have obtained the necessary approvals for the project and have executed a contract with a construction company. And then they say they also increase their annual payment to $300,000 when the project is complete and the aerial truck has been relocated to the new fire station.
yep, so, yes. So I think there's flexibility there, but I don't know that and I'm not a construction company, so I'm speaking on what my belief would be, but I don't know if the construction company would be on board. There will be $0 until a construction company is on board, and all the final approvals from this council have occurred. Once there's a construction company, then there's an opportunity for us to decide where that 1.5 goes. I would tend to borrow the 11.5, but not access it. I've done many, many construction loans in my banking career, and you don't pay any interest if you don't access the funds. But if the council chooses to do it a different way and spend the 1.5 million on architecture and ground preparation, site work, and not access the full 11.5, that's fine too. But it's not something that can even be decided by Ball State or anybody at this point until there's a construction company and all the final approvals. You'll have plenty of opportunities, as Mr. Swint said, you'll have plenty of opportunities to help decide where this goes and when it goes. But as you all agree, it is something that is necessary, and we hope that, that we'll be able to move this forward.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Okay. Any other questions from council? Yes, oh, sorry.
Mr. President, following up on the question that Councilwoman Gullion asked in regards to that 1.5 then will give the fire department a cushion, and this has nothing really to do with your project. So we have $400,000 that was left over from Station 6 remodeling, because even though it said up to a certain amount, we did up to that amount, and so we had that $400,000 left over to be used on other stations. And now we're saying that we could potentially have 1.5 million left over to put into other stations. And so that's almost $2 million that the fire department's budget has been increased, or will haven't been increased, for capital improvements, correct? And these are questions, I mean, I'm just looking for clarification. Yes, absolutely, come up. And so,
No, that is actually, and I appreciate your comments, Councilperson Powell, but no, there won't be 1.5 million left over because it costs 11.5 to build it. Originally, you had said, how about if we borrow 10 and use the 1.5? So
correct.
Yeah.
But if we don't, and there hasn't been a motion to amend to reduce it, so right now the 11.5 is still on the table.
Correct.
It's still,
Correct.
And so the 11.5 plus the 1.5 from Ball State. So that, I mean, because as of right now, we're not discussing 10 million, are we? Reducing to 10, I mean, there's been no motion.
Yeah, the 1.5 is from Ball State to help pay for the start of the fires, to build the fire station. We're not planning on, there's no chance that is going to the fire department's budget. That's going toward this station.
Well, then information that we received during some of those public service meetings are incorrect, because
No, if the station gets built for 11.3 million, there's 200,000 left over. And then this council has the right, and I think they did it last time, this council has the right to tell the developer what happens with that 200,000. It comes back to the city, and so that could go to the to other fire stations, or that could go to other uses along those lines.
So you're responding with the understanding that 1.5 coming from Ball State, and I'm just not and it's not saying that that's not what's happening, but I just want to make sure that we're on the same page.
Sure.
You're saying that 11.5 that is still in ordinance 9-26 goes towards the project. Then we still have this 1.5 that's coming in from Ball State for this project, correct? So that's $13 million for this
Yeah, no,
project, but we're only saying it's
Correct.
up to 11.5 million, so we still have that 1.5 million, and we were told at the public service meeting that that would go into other fire stations.
Well, what I will say is that the 1.5 is for Fire Station 5. Once we have a construction company and once we have all the approvals from this council, when this council chooses what they want and how they want to spend that 1.5,
Well, because,
it has to be toward the fire station, though. That's what Ball State is spending it on.
right, and that's.
But we do not need to access the full, if you have, for example, let's say you have a MasterCard. You've got a credit card, and it has a $3,000 credit limit. Well, that doesn't mean you owe $3,000.
Right.
If you use $1,000 to purchase something, you owe $1,000. I'm just saying, we just won't access the full credit line, that's how I would handle it. The council gets to pick. But that's how I would handle it. I would end up doing less, but if it's a build, operate, transfer, and you don't do it at 11.5, if the costs go over, we could be
Correct.
We could be at risk.
Correct. But
Yeah.
what you're saying now contradicts what Chief Burford said at the public service meeting. So I'm just curious which is correct.
So
because
he said the 1.5 is not for this fire station?
he said that the 1.5 is for the fire station, but anything extra we have would be put towards other stations because they also need to be renovated.
Which I would agree with,
I agree
especially
with
number
you.
7, especially
I
station number 7.
absolutely
It
agree.
needs expanded dramatically, but I do not, as much as I would love for us to do this for $1 million or 400,000 or even 300,000 under budget, in this environment, it's not always easy
Agreed.
to do.
Agreed.
I would say this council can tell, while this is being put together, how do you want to put that together in the end? If you want it if you want it to go toward fire stations, if you want it to, however you want it to do, I would prefer not to even access it. That would be my choice if I were on the council. I would say let's not access that 1.5. I would not do $13 million,
Okay.
and I wouldn't vote for that. I would hold the total price to 11.5 and know that $1.5 million is coming from Ball State.
And can pay
Yeah, I
down that
believe at
debt.
this time, Chief Burford would like to speak.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening. Just a couple points of clarification, if you don't mind.
Sure.
During the Public Services Committee meeting, we spoke about the remainder of the money that was left from the construction of Station 6. There was over $500,000 there that we did not access from the bond. So that money was not used anywhere else. We would not be able to use that money anywhere else unless we came and asked you to appropriate it for another project. You appropriated that money specifically for Station 6. We've not used a penny of that money anywhere besides Station 6. Station 5's the same way, and that's why I said when I came up here, it could potentially be used for other station projects, but it cannot automatically be used for other station projects. We would have to come in front of you and ask you to appropriate that money for additional station projects, because you do still control those funds. So, and, the letter that came from Ball State said they're willing to put forth $1.5 million for the station project once contracts are signed. And I believe the hard thing is going to be to get a contractor, developer to sign a contract unless we've clearly secured the $11.5 million in advance. So if the bond is approved for 11.5, now we have proven to them that we've secured the funds. If Ball State's funds then come in during the project, those funds can be used. You would have to appropriate that, but those funds can be used to go directly into that building fund so that we don't need to access the entire 11.5. So you could approve the maximum for 11.5, appropriate the funds for Station 5 from Ball State. None of those other funds can be appropriated beyond the amount unless we come forth and ask you for permission. So if you appropriate the money right after the contracts are signed, that 1.5 million comes off before we even start drawing money. Okay? And so with the contract that's being signed with Mr. Martz, if you agree, the whole project will not exceed 11.5. So when we hit that 11.5 stop, if we put the 1.5 up early into the game here, that's where it's going to stop.
Okay.
The remaining $1.5 million cannot be used for anything other than Station 5 unless you approve that.
Thank
Okay?
you, Chief.
So I hope that clarifies that, but
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
yeah, we didn't use any of the other money though, and nor could we without your permission.
All right.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. You have any other questions?
So but that 500 there is only for the fire? For
Correct.
for
It can only be
fire.
used for fire department infrastructure projects.
Okay.
And it cannot be used for any
Infrastructure,
infrastructure.
not capital?
Pardon me?
No, capital or infrastructure? You're saying
Well, it's, you guys are
That-
approving for infrastructure projects. So it still cannot be used anywhere besides Station 6, and we didn't need it. So it sits there. We couldn't use it unless we came and asked you to appropriate that money for specific projects. Okay?
Thank you.
Do you have plans to do that?
I'm not going to come and ask for just a piece of money if I can't complete a project. I'm going to be honest with you. So, we have some things we would like to do, and I would certainly be open for discussion.
Okay.
But, we would come before you and make that appropriate, request that appropriation, give you the plans,
Okay.
is what we're going to do with that before. Obviously, anything could be done. Okay?
Thank you, Chief.
Mhm.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other questions for council? Okay, we have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Public comment?
Oh, public comment. I'm sorry.
Audie Barber. So I'm assuming that we, instead of 8.6 million, we've spent 8.55 million on Station 6, because they said we had 500,000 left over on it. They could apply it back towards the bot, or just leave it in there for something happens at Station 6. The concerns I have is, do we really have the money for all these projects? We just got a brand new fire station 6. I understand these guys need these stations updated. I understand that 100%. But if we don't have the money for it, and it puts the city deeper and deeper in debt, then, that's going to be a big problem. Also, on Station 6, some of the EMS money, I think it was $200,000 a year, 150, something like that, was supposed to be taken out of the EMS fund and applied each year towards that building. Is that something that's going to happen this time? Are they going to appropriate some money from the EMS fund to fund this building too?
Yes.
And, I'd like to know more about it. So that's where I'm at on it. And like I said, if we ain't got the money, don't spend it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your comments.
It's Meckins, Muncie Voice. I can't argue with anything that's been said. I agree we need to update the fire station. My problem is the financial arrangements. First of all, the bond lawyers do not represent the people in this room. They represent the investors. So we got to make that clear. So when they talk at a public meeting, they're not answering, they're not protecting us, they're protecting the bond investors. So we got to be clear there. The other thing is Ball State. I did an APRA, a Freedom of Information Act request, and there's been no communication with the board's trustees on the million and 1.5 million. So you better get a commitment, not a letter that says, we will do this. That is not a commitment. You need to get something on paper that's been approved by the Board of Trustees before you proceed on this. Because all they've done so far, and I got all the letters that they sent to Ridenour, the mayor, and there's nothing in there about we've approved this with the Board of Trustees. It's just communications. This is what we're gonna do. And the other thing they said they were gonna do was increase their payment to $300,000. It's already at $266,000. So they're only adding $34,000 a year for this brand-new fire station, which to me is just, it blows my mind that they can have, I mean, it's in their backyard. I mean, they're the ones that need the ladder truck, them and the hospital, and neither one of them are paying shit as far as I'm concerned.
Language, please watch that.
Do what?
Please watch your language.
Oh, sure. Also, manure, does that work? Okay. Just want to clarify. Also, we are not using $11.5 million to build this fire station. As soon as it's approved, $1.2 million disappears in closing cost. Bye-bye. So you're only dealing a little over $10 million. And the other thing is the part of the $1.2 million that goes in closing costs is $685,000 in capitalized interest, which means that is going to make the payments on the bond until June 2028, after the next election. It's kind of interesting that all of this capitalized interest that's being used to make payments until after the big election in 2028. And what concerns me is whoever comes in as the next mayor, they're going to see like 1.7 million, poof, like that right out of their edit account. So I don't, I was told that, the main reason for edit was to invest and bring in money. A fire station doesn't bring in any money. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Chief Burford. Chief.
You got one over here.
Mr. President, can I
Yes.
ask the chief a question or two? Chief, can you come up and just explain that the payment that Ball State is making, it also, what they're paying right now also includes the lease payment for the aerial truck, correct?
Correct. They pay
And so $167,000 of that, what they're currently paying, will cease once we pay off that truck. So is the $300,000 then for
The
beyond that?
$300,000 goes up for beyond. So yes, they currently pay
it's a significant
$150.
increase.
Yeah, they pay $150 for fire protection and they pay $116,000 for the aerial payment,
Correct.
which comes off in '27.
Okay, and so it is a significant increase that they're doing.
It is.
Given that payment will be going away. And the aerial truck is housed where now?
It's housed at Station 2 right now
Station 2 is in
in Heacon Park.
Heacon Park.
Yep.
So the truck, and can you explain why the aerial truck is so important to get back to Station 5, which is in my district?
Well, obviously, it is our only actual platform truck. It is the only truck in the city that can actually be counted as an aerial for the ISO ratings for insurance.
Okay.
And it has to be housed in proximity to your tallest structures.
Correct.
So
Which
that
are?
is Station 5. And we had to move it because when we brought EMS in, the EMS was several calls and you try to balance the service as best we can. And that's what we did when, the moves were made. So
And so, to clarification, follow up, the truck that would be most beneficial to fight fire at Ball Hospital and at several of the buildings on campus is across town,
that's correct.
even though Ball State is paying the lease payment.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
And so that's
And I think
definitely a
that's why it's
problem.
important for them to have that back, and that's why they said
Absolutely. Absolutely.
once the station's done and that truck is back in-house at Station 5, that they would increase the payment. Because it does have that contingency on the
It does.
increase of the money.
It does. And then just one.
Anybody else have a question?
I'm so sorry.
Council?
She's not done.
Sarah does.
Go ahead, absolutely.
Okay, this one is actually more back to the mayor probably, but going back to this letter versus a contract, and what was just mentioned about the trustee, if the mayor could come back up, please. So to your knowledge, has this gone to the trustees for a vote?
I don't know what
Trustees.
department it went to. I was told that it had been approved.
Okay. Is there any way that, is there a reason that we couldn't get a contract, that you wouldn't want a contract, a written contract for this, just to know that this is coming for sure?
Well, I don't doubt that it's coming.
That's great, and you're probably right, but honestly, when we're talking about this much money and we're talking about, running the city, I mean, I would think that we would want a written contract. Are you going to ask for that? If we were to say, I mean, I'm thinking maybe there'd be an amendment saying that we could vote for this, or, this could go through if we have a written contract with Ball State. I mean, I just feel like we need something more than a handshake.
Well, it's more than a handshake. It's a written letter.
I see that.
And it is confirmed. And, I don't know what department and how they are funding it. It may not be from Ball State's general fund, but I was
don't
told
care
that it was
about
approved.
that. I
Yep.
just would like to see, a contract that says this is happening. This is definitely a thing.
Well, Ball State has committed to it. They provided a letter to each of you. You've had that for some time.
Yes.
And I'm very thankful for them.
I am.
And I know it is very necessary for the construction of this facility because it's on an area of our city where the station is totally inadequate. We can't even, we can only get 2 pieces in there. It has major repairs that are necessary. I understand.
It's horrible. I
Yep,
totally agree.
I agree.
That's why this is important to get this money.
Yep.
And I just
And
feel
we
like-
will get it. I think Ball State probably, I know President Mearns is committed to this. He wants it to happen, and it's going to happen. Once we have a contractor, which we will have if we get all the approval documents from you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate it. Okay.
Just follow up, and it might be for.
Yeah,
for
that's
you.
okay.
The lit, because we're finding, we're using lit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are we certain that we have sufficient lit to cover these
Yes,
expenses?
we are absolutely certain, and I think there's been information sent to each of you as well.
Yeah.
And
I'm mostly asking
But yes.
so we can hear
Yes.
in a public.
So we have, in fact, it has increased substantially as we've increased population. We've also increased some salaries. And again, our biggest challenge in our community is having places for people to live, because we have between 8,000 and 10,000 people that drive into Muncie each and every day, and they pay 0 lit in Delaware County if they're driving in from out of county. So they don't pay, we don't receive anything, yet they come in here, they use our services, we're thankful they are here, but we would prefer them move here. So I think we've done a very good job of increasing the population. We're up about 1,300 people in total in the 5 years, and that has increased the pool. And we are already well over, we're way ahead, several $100,000 ahead of the expected revenues already for lit because of the increased population. It's really helped.
Mr. President, follow-up question?
Sure. Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry.
So, and
Twice.
the lit that you're saying, that's the public safety lit that we'll be paying that out of, or will
No,
we be paying that
it'll
out
be,
of the code?
it's out of the entire lit.
Okay.
So
And then-
that's the amount that comes to the council, that's the amount that comes to public safety, that's the amount that comes to edit funds. It comes out of that fund, just like the previous fire station.
Okay.
Station 6 was funded the exact same way.
Okay, Mr. Mason, you had a question. No, you did not. Okay. Anyone else?
No, I don't think she's done.
And so we don't see any danger of and I know that a lot of it has to be worded that way so that our bond rating and things along those lines in regards to backing up with property taxes, we don't see any danger in the lit not being sufficient so that we would have to then go to property taxes, correct?
I do not.
Thank you.
I do
appreciate
not
that.
see any problem with that. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak on ordinance 9-26?
Good evening, Jason Chafin, President, Local Firefighters Local 1348. I just wanted to remind everybody that this process started 6 years ago in 2020 with a committee of firefighters and community leaders and on a board. You know, over these last 6 years, we've had needs assessments, financial fiscal analysis, stations, location studies, all that stuff, over the years have been presented when we did the fire station on the northeast side of town. which, again, all that said, we also need a fire station on the northwest side of town. And this is just, like I said, it's a slow and agonizing slow, but, obviously needing, to be methodological, we need to spend this kind of money. So I thank you guys all for that. Like I said, I've heard questions about locations, and, Jerry answered one about the geothermal, being surrounding it, and obviously Ball State's, prize Christie Woods is on the other side of it. So it's in a great location where it's at, and, the studies all showed that. Like I said, this process has been negotiated and through. Like I said, I appreciate all you guys' support for the previous one, the Fire Station 6. Obviously, it's a quality of place issue, not just for my guys and gals, who have to live there, but it's a quality of place for, the entire communities and neighborhoods. When we drive by Station 6 now, that's a pride that we have in that neighborhood and in that area. And that's something the city can build on. When we get one on the northeast side of town, that'll be a pride for that neighborhood. And then again, that spreads to the entire community. When we have infrastructure, and that looks good and shows that we're, it makes the whole city get better. So I appreciate all you guys for your support in the past and for this project.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, Rob Miller. The mayor just stated that they have the money in lit today. I don't disagree with that. I think if the fiscal picture looked like it does today, we're going to be fine for 20 years. But we know that there's an edit fund. It's going away. We will not have that money anymore. That is going to the county, and they're not going to give you, the city, any of that money, I suspect. Second, we know that property tax revenue is going to drop for the city. It's going to fall off a cliff. So my question is, have we done a stress test? What does it look like in 5, 10, 15 years when we've lost all of that money? Yes, I know lit will go up year over year if the city continues to grow. But is that going to make up the losses? Does anyone remember the last administration that had to suffer with budget problems? Mayor McShirley was shutting off streetlights. That was my first introduction to Muncie when I moved here. Was the city was cutting services and streetlights because they couldn't afford to pay the bills. That was what shaped my initial opinion of the Muncie government. And I've seen them do better. I've seen you guys do better. But I am really concerned that in 5, 8, 10 years, we're going to be panicking in this city. Because where's the money going to come from? Are you going to start hiring police officers, city workers, closing parks? I mean, this money for this thing is guaranteed. They will get their money before everything else in the city. And I'm not saying that the firefighters don't deserve a new home. Please don't take that this way. I am just very concerned with the stuff that has changed at the State House as to what's going to happen to our city if you approve this as is today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Todd Smeckens again. Just to piggyback on what he said, right now, it sounds really rosy. I love the mayor's optimism. The city of Muncie is rated 1 grade above junk. Okay? It's BB minus is a Standard and Poor rating. Why? Because we have too much debt. Okay? And that's before you add 11.5 million. So if you go to junk bonds where you can't get investor grade bonds, your price goes through the roof. I mean, they're going to charge you an arm and a leg for any funding that you want. So you might want to check into that. Thanks.
Anyone else?
Yeah, Terry Moore. Like I said earlier, this city is only built, excluding number 6s, this city has built 1 fire station in the last 60 years. And I keep hearing number 7s, and that's the one that was built, and it's in dire need of updating. It's in terrible shape. It was never built to be what firefighters needed. Don't approve this now, and the next time it'll be in front of you, it'll be for 18 or 20 million.
Anyone else this evening?
Hi, I'm Janae Jackson. I'm a sergeant on the 2nd Battalion at Muncie Fire Station number 5. I just wanted to share a little bit about my experience there. I've been there for 5 months, with the department for 6 years. I don't know if the community is really aware that we're living in sewage most of the time. When we flush our toilets, sewage comes up through our drains. Our bays are constantly just a smell of sewage as it comes up. When you use the bathrooms there, when you sit down, the water comes up from the toilets. A lot of the things are not fixable at this point, and I just wanted to advocate for us because we don't get to go home at the end of the day. We don't do 8 hours at an office that's deplorable. We live there a third of our life. And so I hope that the community will also consider that. I can't speak on checks and balances and numbers, but I can speak on what we're living in. And we love our community and we're here to serve them. So I hope that the community will support us to have somewhere where we can have healthy living conditions while we're there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Garrett,
Yes.
Dishman,
Yes.
Gullion,
Yes.
Powell,
It's important to my district, yes.
Selby,
Yes.
McIntosh,
I see that we still trying to get a lot of money and we have all this money to be spent and everything. But I still feel for my brothers and sisters that haven't got that contract done in 2.5 years yet. And the city workers, they have lives and have to live hard too. So with that being said, and the way I feel about it, I have to say no.
Mason,
I'm gonna piggyback on what Sarah was talking about with the contract. I think they do need a contract, something more of a, something that has more of a teeth to it than just a letter. You know, letters come and go. We've heard that over and over, you know, promises made and never kept.
Yes.
So I am going to have to vote no.
Basham,
Yes.
and Green.
Yes.
7 yeses, 2 noes.
Moving on to ordinance 14-26.
Ordinance 14-26, an ordinance for the city of Muncie prohibiting department heads from serving on certain boards and commissions and establishing ethics and conflict of interest standards.
We have a motion to adopt ordinance 14-26,
So moved.
Second.
and we have a second.
When do we get public comments? Sorry.
Public comment now. Ordinance 14-26.
Go ahead, Linda.
Go ahead.
Linda, do you want to speak?
Put this in here real quick. No problem. Thank you. I wanted to speak on this ordinance because I'm on the Human Rights Commission, and our ordinance on the Human Rights Commission has specific guidelines for membership. And one of those guidelines is religious representation. And up until this last, like May the 31st, we did have clergy on there. And then that person, you know, their time was up and they didn't want to renew. But the point is, if we have that space open for a clergy, then that meets our ordinance, our obligation for that ordinance. So, and also, just to keep in mind, the way that it can help other boards and commissions in the community is just going to allow more citizens to be able to be involved. I don't know how many department heads are on boards, and if they're on multiple boards, I don't know. But I think that residential representation is really important. And like I said, I'm mainly speaking for the Human Rights Commission because I'm on the Human Rights Commission and I know what that ordinance says. So I'd like to have that space open up for a clergy because that's one of the, that's one of the requirements in our ordinance. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak on 1426?
Good evening. My name's Patty Goddard. I am a resident of the city of Muncie. I do serve on multiple boards, and I am appointed by the mayor. I would say, as part of this ordinance, it says to prevent ethics and conflict of interest violations, if that's my understanding. If that's correct, you already have an ordinance that addresses that very specifically, and that ordinance is, I have it written right here, 3724. It's the Code of Ethics. And we're already following that, so it's addressed. But I will speak for my personal experience. The comments that I'm making are those of mine, not my employer. I have been appointed to 2 commissions. I serve on those commissions. One I haven't been able to attend as regularly, the others with pride, and I serve. And I serve as myself. I'm not someone's puppet. In fact, I will tell you, I'm appointed by the mayor. He came to a meeting 2 meetings ago. I objected to what he had to say. So if the point is to distinguish that we don't have minds of our own, I can tell you I do. And I speak as a department head. And I would also like to point out that at the last meeting, I watched very clearly how you guys didn't know how to word this ordinance. I understand that. But clearly, there is some confusion on how the city of Muncie works. We do not have layers of supervisors. We have department heads. 2 departments have an additional supervisor. Then everyone else is an employee. So if they report to an appointed person, you're wanting to exclude them from serving on boards, commissions, and councils. I think that's not advisable because our employees choose to be engaged in this community. And if you put that in the ordinance the way you all were talking, I think that that's a downfall for this community because our employees are involved. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I?
Comment?
Okay.
Yes.
Actually, I do, because I think Ms. Goddard made a good point that we were muddy on the amendment that I brought up. So I would like to actually introduce an amendment. And I want to introduce an amendment that will clean up the language and will basically say that it would be department heads, appointed officials, which we have laid out here according to actually the ethics ordinance that Ms. Goddard was talking about, and then administrative staff of those people. And I've gone ahead and made a copy for everybody, and it just shows exactly where the changes would be. And I've given one to our attorney, and I've got one for you, Lexi. Deputy Mayor, personnel. May I read it, the main part, so that?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, this is changing it so that it would be ordinance for the city of Muncie prohibiting department heads, appointed officials, and certain administrative staff from serving. And then underneath department head, the department head stays the same, that definition. But then appointed officials means deputy mayor, personnel, human resources director, city controller, city engineer, traffic engineer, head of the Department of Public Works, superintendent of Parks and Recreation, chief of police department, chief of fire department, building commissioner, building director, head of the Department of Redevelopment, any and all deputies to any of the previously listed, and any executive branch official appointed directly by the mayor. And then it would also add administrative staff, means any administrative staff working for any of the above.
I'll
And
second.
then, yeah.
I'll second that motion.
It's a motion and a second.
Thank you.
I'd like to have a roll call on the amendment.
Garrett,
Yes.
Dishman,
No.
Selby,
No.
Mason,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
McIntosh,
Yes.
Basham,
No.
Gullion,
Yes.
Green.
No.
5 yeses, 4 noes.
Okay. Now we have an amended ordinance before us. Continue the public comment.
Wayne Scaife, good job, Sarah. It's still short of my all employees, all city employees, but that's good enough right there. So good job. The young lady spoke about the Human Rights Commission, and one reason we need this is because there's a certain individual, department head, that's serving on that Human Rights Commission, and I hope we amend this and say immediately, because when a person's job was in jeopardy on that Human Rights Commission, and some of you were there, that department head was so eager to get the vote on and fire that person that they didn't want to hear from, she didn't want to hear from the public. I said she, I shouldn't have said that, so now I know who it is. But, and to what the young lady said earlier, you know, if you're in the succession line and you report directly to the mayor, it's hard for me to believe that you're not going to feel like he's hovering over you when you're making decisions on these boards. And I know what she said, but that's her. Everybody's not like that. So I hope y'all vote in favor of this as amended, and let's continue to make good decisions. And we should have added, like I said at the last meeting, elected officials. Elected officials need to be on here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold on 1 second. I actually want to ask her something.
May I speak again?
The line's over here.
The line.
I'm sorry, I thought they were just being, I don't attend the meeting.
When Mr. Robinson's up.
Oh, wait. Thank you.
Good evening, Council, President Green, other council members. My name is Jeff Robinson. I'm the Development Director at Schaefer Leadership Academy, and that's who I'm representing tonight. I'm not here to speak in favor or against Ordinance 14-26. I'm here tonight to speak really because the conversation surrounding this ordinance reminds us of something we can all agree on, that Muncie is filled with people who are willing to serve. Right, I think we can all agree on that. Our boards and commissions depend on citizens who are willing to raise their hands and say, I'd like to help. Excuse me. In 2021, Schaefer Leadership Academy partnered with the city of Muncie to create GoServeMuncie.com because we recognized a very simple problem. Muncie is full of people, again, who want to and are eager to serve and get involved, but many don't know where to start. They don't know what boards and commissions exist, how to express that interest. They don't know how to make themselves available for that appointment. Go Serve Muncie was created to help solve that problem. Again, GoServeMuncie.com. It's a free online resource that connects residents and opportunities to serve on city boards and commissions. It was built on a simple belief. Everyone should have an opportunity to serve, not just those who happen to know the right person or hear about an opening at the right time. No matter what happens with Ordinance 1426, one thing won't change. Our community will continue to need thoughtful, qualified, engaged citizens who are willing to step into leadership roles through service on our city's boards and commissions. If tonight's discussion inspires just one more person to consider serving on a board or commission, then I think that's a positive outcome that we can all agree with. I'd also like, while I'm here, to ask for your help. In the past year alone, we have had 51 Muncie residents who have created a Go Serve Muncie profile. 51 in the last year. That's encouraging, but we know there are many more people in Muncie with the skills, experience, and desire to serve. With your help, we can connect even more of them to these opportunities. I would encourage the council, the mayor, anyone involved in the appointment process to help us strengthen and promote GoServeMuncie.com. Tell residents about it when they ask how they can get involved. Encourage people from every neighborhood, every walk of life to get involved. Create a profile, express that interest in serving. Please also share your ideas on how we can improve this resource so it becomes even more valuable to the people of Muncie. That goes for everyone, by the way. Anyone that has any suggestions on how we can improve this process, we want to hear from you, okay? Most of all, I encourage you to use Go Serve Muncie as a resource when it comes time to make board and commission appointments. Go Serve Muncie was never intended to belong to Schaefer Leadership Academy alone. It was created as a community resource in partnership with the city of Muncie. And like any community resource, it's strongest when the entire community helps shape it, improve it, and when we use it. And to everyone watching in the room or online, if you've ever wanted to help shape the future of Muncie, this is your invitation. Go to GoServeMuncie.com, create a profile, raise your hand to serve, because our community isn't strengthened by one ordinance or one meeting. It's strengthened when people choose and are given the opportunity to serve. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And most of all, thank you all, each one of you, for your commitment to this community. As a former council member, I know that this is a tough job, and I know you guys work tirelessly in representing your respective districts in the city of Muncie. So thank you all for your community service. Thanks.
Mr. Barber.
Mine quite ain't as polished as Jeff's was, but I'm Audie. You need to decide whether this is going to be effective immediately if this passes, or if you're going to grandfather the people that's already in these committees in, and that's a big ideal there. Whether it's grandfathering them in or making them quit and reappointing new people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ellen Whitehead. I am a Muncie resident, and my views do not represent those of my employer. I want to broadly voice my support for Ordinance 1426. At its core, this ordinance is about protecting public trust. Across all political viewpoints, I would hope we can agree that city government works best when the public has confidence that decisions are being made fairly and independently. This ordinance reinforces that principle by creating clear expectations around ethics and conflicts of interest. One of the ways that you build that trust is by maintaining appropriate independence between different parts of city government. When boards, commissions, and department leadership each have clearly defined roles and can carry out these roles independently, it strengthens the credibility of the decisions they make. It also helps avoid situations where people may question whether personal or professional relationships are influencing outcomes, even when everyone involved is acting with complete integrity. I think that is a key piece of this ordinance. I understand that there are people in these positions who know that they operate independently, regardless of how they are appointed. But my view is that it is the job of policymakers to enact policy that helps promote and preserve these ideals. This is what this ordinance does. Clear standards help protect the integrity of our institutions, the people who serve in them, and the trust that residents place in their local government. This is a common sense policy with a goal that I think we should all agree on. For those reasons, I encourage you to vote in support of this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next.
Rob Miller. A city employee, I don't think any city employee has been accused of malfeasance or being manipulated. But Muncie, and I think everyone knows this, we don't trust the government. The citizens don't. Because of years past transgressions, this administration and previous ones, there's just a lack of public trust. And it's hard to imagine that a person serving on a board doesn't at least think a little bit about their job. So, you know, they're sitting on this board. Am I going to make my boss mad today? Are they going to cause something? Are they going to jam me up for a promotion? Are they going to do something to me? Who knows? It's a thought. You're not being threatened, but you always think about that kind of stuff. So we got that problem. At the beginning of this meeting, we made an amendment that made complete sense. And I saw 4 people who I know vote pretty much lockstep with the mayor. I imagine Jerry gets a call from the mayor to brief him on all these meetings right before he gets here. Never seen him go against the mayor since he switched parties. Dale, you've publicly said that you will do whatever the mayor asks you to. You are his representative on the board. You've publicly said that. So can't trust what you want either. Councilman Green, don't know you well enough. Roe, I would have thought you would have supported this. I can't believe you don't. But I think we can trust the citizens of Muncie to be independent on boards and run them. I don't think we need the mayor's secretary. I don't think we need department heads sitting on these boards giving more power to the people in office. And this applies if the Democrats win the next election. I may support one party or the other, but I don't want the mayor having influence over public boards. That's insane. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Rita Faulkner, and I'm a Muncie resident. I just have 2 short points. Not having department heads on boards would help promote the independence of boards and commissions from the administration. It would help avoid conflicts of interest. Second, it would give more opportunities for local residents to hold the positions and participate in government. It would contribute to more perspectives being considered. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess it's my turn. I truly didn't know the order of the meeting, so I apologize. Patty Goddard, resident of Muncie, my comments do not reflect the opinion of my employer. They do, however, reflect the opinion of me as an HR professional. In my profession, we develop policies. We develop policies based on a trend or something like that. If this is being developed for 1 or 2 specific department heads, I find that concerning. Because if we have, this is a bad term to use, but a bad apple in the bunch, we don't create a whole policy around that one person. We address that one person. And the next thing I would say is that, does this also apply to you all appointing people? Because your ordinances, the exact ordinances, are the ones that say that you appoint people and the mayor appoints people. So this is my opinion. I've never had a conversation with the mayor about this. You are restricting the mayor's powers while not restricting your own.
True.
That's my observation.
President. Thank you.
Go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Ms. Bowell, you have a question?
Yeah, so you, Mrs. Goddard, you had said that you make policy, and then that means, I'm trying to understand how that came into play in regards to
This
you
topic?
serving on a board.
No. It had nothing to me serving on a board. I'm saying this is a policy, essentially.
Well-
And I'm saying in the course of my profession, I create policies about other things. And we don't do it based on 1 or 2 employees.
I don't know that the city council would appoint a department head, and they certainly wouldn't be betrothed to us in regards to making decisions. My thing, and I understand why you would be a little rustled by this, given you're on two commissions. Hold on just a second, please.
I enjoy
But
those,
my
but
my
yes.
perspective is this: if one Muncie resident doesn't file a complaint with the Human Rights Commission, doesn't have an issue solved by your office, doesn't contact something, go before a board, if one Muncie resident has concern and doesn't do that because they're afraid they won't get a fair shake because someone on that board is appointed by their boss, then that's not what I want to put out there. It is about transparency. And if one person doesn't advocate for themselves because they don't feel like they would have a fair shake, then I feel like this policy is in the best interest of the many.
Is that a question for me, or are you just making a statement?
I'm making a statement.
Okay, thank
You had mentioned that you are on one board that you don't attend often,
I attend more frequently than most, I would have to say.
and you're on another board.
That I attend very
May
regularly.
I ask
and-
what boards you're on?
Yes, the Delaware Visitations Bureau, which is called Destination Muncie, or the Convention and Visitors Bureau. We meet once a month. It's a very organized meeting, and we do a lot of good in this community. And I say we have a team that works for the board, of course, and it is made of members of all walks of life throughout the community. And it is something that enhances the life. It has helped me be engaged with Muncie because I moved here. This is just about Patty.
Any other board?
Yes, I serve on the Delaware County Muncie Disability Awareness Council, and we're just an advisory council, so we have no, as I would say, teeth.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Next.
Hi, I'm Cheyenne Reed. I'm a Muncie resident. I've lived in Delaware County my whole life. I think this is an awesome ordinance. I think the boards that are available need to be accessible to the public. I don't know the lady before me's qualifications, but I guarantee you I could find 5 people that could be on those boards that would actually show up. I know a lot of people in the community. I know people in this room that could sit on both of those boards. Not saying she doesn't show up, but obviously others don't. The Go Serve thing is great. I love it. I'm pretty involved, and I didn't know about it until a month ago. And I went, I filled out my application. I've heard nothing from anybody. Maybe there's nothing open. I don't know. When are those available? There's 51 people who applied for in the last year. I would like to see the data of how many of those people were actually contacted and how many of those people sit on boards now. Because there are thousands of people in Muncie. We can find people that aren't in the top of these organizations. Democrat, Republican, I don't care. Forever. I don't care who the next mayor is. It's across the board, bipartisan. We have other people that want to serve. They should be allowed to serve. And this helps that, and it helps get that information out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This should not be a question of whether someone trusts the government or doesn't trust the government, or we're happy with this government or not happy. This is America. We're not supposed to just lay over and trust the people that are up there or trust these people. We're supposed to question. That's what we do. We have the right to redress the government and to question and wonder and be concerned and voice those concerns, and that's what's happening here. I think that this is frustrating because if this were rank and file police officer or rank and file fireman or somebody from the street department that was on a board or whatever, nobody'd probably know. But the fact that it seems like some of the most concerning issues tend to be around boards where the mayor's secretary is on the board, and it's not like the mayor's secretary who is quiet and nobody knows this person's name. This person is a lightning rod in the city. For good, bad, right, wrong, or indifferent, this person has fought with people, and maybe people have fought with her. I've watched these meetings where she has attended and has treated people rudely. Like I'm saying, like treated people rudely. You guys might think like I treat you rudely, but that's part of what the situation is. You get paid for me to treat you rudely. If you were treating me rudely, I would have a serious problem with that, and I do, and that's why I chew you guys' ass about it, okay? That's what this is about, all right? You don't have to word me about language. We're all adults. We'll move on. Here's the deal, okay? This is like Nora's ordinance for the transparency thing of who could file the ordinances. This is common sense. The fact that there are 4 of you that are set up here and just lockstep vote against it to begin with, just because that's the way, because you have a Republican or you're a trans Republican or whatever the deal is, okay? So here's the thing. Are you looking to see if your handlers are like not approving of what I'm saying?
You're speaking to me?
Yeah.
No, you have 3 minutes.
No, I don't have 3 minutes. That's public concerns. You've not told anybody else that. Why do you do that to me? If you would just stop doing that stuff.
You are entitled to limit.
But we've never done that before. And I find it hilarious that you're just attempting that you constantly attempt to silence me. That's bullshit.
Stop the language.
What?
Please stop.
It's bullshit! It might not be, but let me explain to you. You will not violate my rights.
I'm not violating.
You are when you try to silence my voice. You will not do that.
I've given you ample time.
So to be very clear, don't shake your head, Ro. Don't shake your head. Sit up there and take it or resign. Listen to me. Dale said when he ran that he wanted to be a voice and a vote for the mayor. That's what he said. And there are other people on these boards that the mayor has appointed, and it will be Democrats. And I'm going to tell you, I have had conversations with some of these same people about other administrations, and they haven't liked it. So you guys can just do the right thing. You can be mad at me, but if you wouldn't try to silence me and do all the gameplay, we wouldn't need to do this. I can talk respectfully and I can be calm. But I'm tired of how you treat me. If you want respect, treat me with respect, and you will get it, sir. Okay? Vote for this, pass it, and let's be done with the nonsense.
I have a question for legal.
Yes.
Can we limit the comments to 3 minutes per person?
Yes, you may.
Okay.
Well, that wasn't your
From
policy
this-
before, though, because what you did before is it was 3 minutes that it was going to be for public
3
comment.
minutes.
Okay, so 3 minutes for this now.
Would require,
Yes, 3 minutes.
It would require a vote of the council.
Council would have to agree to it.
Yes.
Do it next meeting.
Does it require a motion?
Continue.
So I can go for like
Yes.
40 minutes then if I want to tonight. Okay, I'm joking. Okay, I wasn't gonna go up and talk. I'm on the Human Rights Commission. I don't represent it, obviously. I'm just one of 9 members. I'm an occasional private citizen. The thing is, I think with encouraging residents to join, I think not only is it not, the opportunities aren't really being given to people, being known to people, but there's also discouragement of people serving, and also I think just suppressing, stopping people from doing it. So I'll just say, for example, with me and the Human Rights Commission, with me getting appointed, when I sent out emails to all of you, that was then sent not only to people at City Hall, but also given out to the Republican GOP in the county. And so people like the mayor and Republican Party Chairman Tim Overton were like, even though I just sent out an email to you guys, and I didn't tell anybody else, there was still, you guys were just giving it out to all these, fucking creeps, to be honest.
Watch the language, please.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, that's what you were doing. So, I mean, like, and I also reached out to you guys to ask, like, why was this happening? I mean, I find it really weird that I sent out an email to you guys and you guys were like, oh, I need to talk to, all these other creeps. I mean, just curious who did it. I'm just curious. I mean, sent out an email to, the Republicans about, I mean, because it's just, here's the thing. It's if Jim Lutton, with the Parks Board, or who else, like Seth Rawlings with redevelopment, I don't think that would get so much narrowed like attention where like a whole political party would be like, oh shit, we need to stop this person from joining, so like I don't know why. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense? right? Do you agree?
I'm listening to you.
Wait, sorry, repeat that. I couldn't hear you.
I said I'm listening to you.
Yeah,
Continue
you're listening to
with your
me. I mean,
comments.
do you think it's kind of creepy that like I give out, I exclusively gave an email to you guys saying I'm interested in this. Here's my resume and everything, and then you guys are just like giving it out to a political party. I mean, isn't that not weird? Right? I mean, do you have an answer or no? You don't? Okay. So that's the point I'm making is just that first of all, I think that with a lot of these roles, the only time I've ever seen it promoted, like here's a role that came up or something, it was like the Ethics Commission on one occasion where that was said like, oh yeah, next month we're voting on this, but any other time it's never been put out there like, here's a, next month we're voting on this to put someone on the commission or anything like that. So I think that should be encouraged a bit more to have, people added and everything to like get actual residents on, not just be like, here's people close to the mayor, here's people close to, the Republican Party and whatnot. I mean, any thoughts, concerns, anything anyone wants to say or no? Okay.
Sam Johnson. I'm the current chairperson of the City County Council for People with Disabilities, which is the board that was alluded to earlier by Patty. And I just want to say that before I say anything, she's done a great job. When I came on to the board, we were in a great state of disarray. I was trying to figure out where all the documents were and everything. And so far, my tenure has mostly been housekeeping, getting us into order, and she's been a great help to that. So I want to give her props for that. And I want to speak to the concern that there are people who are very civic engaged and civic minded in the city government who want to serve on these boards because they're very generous with their time. And I understand that, and these are great people, and we don't want to discourage that. However, from the point of view of the public, the actual presence of corruption and the appearance or the possibility of corruption, there's little to no difference between those. And to those people in the city government who want to continue to help us, there's nothing saying that they can't be engaged in other ways. And I think we should encourage boards and commissions to more deeply work with members of the public. And I'm coming from, as Patty mentioned, the Disability Advisory Council has no teeth. So, I mean, it's, we joke about, we're deciding if we needed to appoint a treasurer and if we need to worry about them embezzling the $0 budget. So just to give you an idea of how, little teeth we have. And so that's where I'm coming from. But I understand that there are boards and commissions where having a voting position on that board, that's going to directly impact people's lives. And if the person who's casting that vote, so I think that's where the real danger is in the appearance of the potential for corruption. And so I want to give mad props to the city government employees who want to be engaged. And I think we need to find ways to keep them engaged and allow them to engage. But at the end of the day, we need to avoid that appearance of corruption. So I do broadly favor this just in my personal capacity. And I think what someone said about should we grandfathering people in, I think that would be a good compromise. But again, that's just me speaking in my personal capacity. Thank you.
Thank you.
And one last thing, the board, the Disability Council Advisory Board, we do have openings currently. Some of our members are appointed by the mayor, and some of them are to be appointed by the county board of commissioners. So if you're interested, especially if you have any connections with the disability community, or if you're a person with a disability yourself, we would love to have you either as a council person or as just come and join us for our meetings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oscar Kreider, City of Muncie, born and raised. I just wanted to come up here, and I'll keep my comments brief because I know you guys are eager to finally vote on this and move on. Being born and raised here, and especially spending my formative years here in the 2010s, is an experience, and it definitely formed me. To be in my 8th grade chemistry class and to hear that the mayor was arrested for corruption was a formative experience of me and really affected my position on how the city operates. It doesn't take a lifelong resident. It does not take a lifelong citizen. It does not take someone who's born here. You could be here for 2 seconds and you could realize that the slime that is in this city government is, quite frankly, more than you would see in other cities. And I'm proud of this city. I love this city. I go into every single one of these meetings hoping that every single one of you makes me proud. A lot of you disappoint in that regards a lot of the time, but I do. And I think that all of you, I don't want to accuse any of you of being in lockstep with the mayor. I don't want to do that. I think that's been done enough already. But I think a lot of you need to do the right thing, and you need to vote in favor of this. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Chris Smith. I wasn't planning on speaking on this issue tonight, but sometimes you get inspired by people to speak about something and you're not really planning to. So I'd like to commend Cheyenne? Because she made me think and kind of inspired me to say something. If you just take out of the mix, take this issue out of, you don't want department heads serving on things, whatever that is. If you can do something to engage more people civically, why wouldn't you do it? About 1.5 to 2 years ago, I decided I wanted to become more civically involved. It wasn't easy to do. I had to reach out to multiple people. Did it happen? Yes. I currently serve on the Muncie Planning Commission. Do I enjoy it? Yes, I do. So if you take all that other stuff out and you just ask yourself, do we want people, citizens, to be more civically involved? Would that help? If you answer, I don't see how you could not answer yes to that question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Audie Barber again. You're president of the council. You're not God. You can't just say that I'm going to limit it to 3 minutes. You've got regulations that you have to follow, young man.
I asked legal counsel.
You have to vote on it.
That's what he told me.
Anyhow. It really upsets me how I used to come in here and get pretty angry. Used to. This is nothing what I used to do. Your actions up there would have got you escorted out of here had you been 8 years ago. Okay? Your actions up there are not professional. Say what you want to say. They were not professional, Mr. Green. And if you get too hot-headed and you feel like you need to resign, I'll get you a piece of paper. Don't be that way to these people. These are the taxpayers of Muncie, Indiana.
They are.
You don't act like that because you are on that side of the table, not this side. Thank you.
Good evening once again. If I could, just really quickly, as you decide on your vote, the only thing I would request is, and maybe legal counsel can maybe speak to whether it is or not, but the police and fire pension boards are a statutory, requirement that we have. They require 4 active members plus retired member, and then by statute, I'm the president of that board, which I know would still be through. I would just ask that maybe a carve out for those 2 boards. They're voted on by the active members and the retirees, so I wouldn't want something coming back and, saying that maybe a member of my staff can't serve on that board. So if you would consider that, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Do you want to speak to that? Just,
Since I've been called upon, I do believe Section 4B of the ordinance would address that particular concern. It says that nothing in this ordinance shall be construed to prohibit service that is expressly required by Indiana statute.
Right.
right.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Mason.
I'd like to read a statement. Being the sponsor of this ordinance, I think it's an important step towards strengthening transparency, accountability, public confidence in Muncie's government. It is not about questioning the integrity of department heads. It's about establishing clear, ethical boundaries that help protect both public officials and the public we serve as a council. This ordinance promotes independent decision-making, reduces conflicts of interest and the appearance of conflicts, and protects department heads from being placed in situations where their administrative duties could conflict with board responsibilities. Adopting this ordinance reinforces the separation of responsibilities that strengthens the integrity of both boards and commissions and the executive branch. It establishes consistent, ethical standards, help prevent future disputes, and demonstrates the council's commitment to sound governance practices. Passing this ordinance would send a clear message that this council and the city of Muncie values transparency, accountability, and the responsible stewardship of the public's trust.
Any other comments this evening by
Yeah.
council?
I do. I'm going to just mention a couple things why I do not like this ordinance.
Just vote on it.
It's my time to speak now, Mr. Barber. Thank you. First of all, you do not make legislation, I agree with you, Patty, based on you not liking one person or a department head. I don't like all the department heads. I'll just make it public. But I'm not going to sit there and make a legislation because I have a beef with a person. Sorry. Next. I'm not done talking. It's my turn. You'll have your time to come and respond back. Second thing. No, it's my time, please, because you guys all fight for your time. I'm fighting for mine. Thank you. The second thing, I'm fine. I will be done in 3 minutes. You're right on that one. Expertise. You take department heads out of some of those committees. These department heads are the expertise. They are the liaison to the city. They know things about laws, ordinances, how to speed up, that it doesn't matter. Somebody has the best intentions to serve, and these are my opinions, just like everybody else. I'm just explaining myself to you. That they have, that some people will take a longer time to learn, number two. And third, it's that separation. We get to pick. The mayor cannot come and tell me, do not appoint somebody as a council person on a committee. It's none of, excuse my language, his business. I do not, and it's none of my business to tell him as a mayor who to appoint. You have to have that separation. Now, if you believe a department head has done something wrong, we have created an ethics commission. Go file a complaint. Go to the human resource. Don't just take it on Facebook and make our city look bad when there's no bone, no beef. Do not accuse of somebody of doing something wrong that has not done anything wrong just because that, just a minute, I'm not done. Just because you think they did something wrong. If you have something on somebody, I encourage you, go to the human resource. If they don't do anything about it, come tell us. Go to the ethics commission. If they don't do anything about it, come tell us. But we need to, there should be separation. And you know what? And yes, and that's for the next mayor. And yes, that might be a consequence. And yes, maybe I can come back and bite my tongue or whatever. But the thing is, I will never support a legislation based on one person or create new legislation because I don't like a department head or I don't like the mayor. Sorry. And that is how I'm going to explain my vote, and that's it.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Gray.
I don't know where you're getting at, bro.
Tell me about it.
This
I'm
ain't
getting it
against,
from
it
here,
ain't
from
against
Hohenheim and
nobody. It's not about questioning the integrity of any department head. I don't have any beefs with any department head. I wrote this ordinance because I think it's the right thing to do.
Well, on conflict of interest, question for Ro.
Yes, please.
Okay, so let's say you have a department head on a commission and there are, there's going to be budget restrictions inevitably, and the commission has to decide for its department what it's going to do, like what budget it's going to submit. Let's say this department head of another department then says, well, if I try to vote and do something in that commission to restrict that funding, then my department's okay. Do you see that as a conflict of interest?
That, but I just want to remind you, commissions are not just made out of one person.
They're not.
Commissions are not just all voted for by the mayor or all by the city council.
Well, I mean, the Human Rights Commission is
there
mostly
is
the mayor, I think,
discussion,
right?
and if you guys-
Just
I'm
saying.
sorry?
I mean, the Human Rights Commission is mostly the mayor, right? Like 6 out of the 9
Six
are.
out of, you're
Only-
right.
the
And
council
if
only
you
gets
would like-
3.
Yes,
Yeah.
and if you don't like that, you can approach any of us, and we'll change that composition if you feel like it's not fair. But we do not make legislations based on one
It's not about one person. I think
Okay.
that Harold just told you that, right?
Okay.
What's your response to Harold? What he just said?
I think it is. I honestly think there's been a lot of talk, and I've heard people from council,
Have you
people
heard
from
from
the
him?
public, people, and all this accusation. It's not grounded. And if there is
Well, I
an
don't think-
accusation, go to the ethics committee.
Well, I don't
That's
think
my
that anybody's saying there's a particular thing that was done by this department head on human rights. No one's accusing anything like specifically happened. It's just that there are things that can come up, like that hypothetical I just gave you, right?
I understand.
Okay.
Mr. Green, if I could step in, there's a couple things I think are going on that are going to make things difficult. Number one is people are talking over each other, which is going to make the minutes a mess. Would recommend we move things along here.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Ms. Daisy.
I'm
Do
ju-
you have something else?
I'm just going to wrap up and just say I think with the human rights, and I'm sure a lot of commissions have had issues like this, but with human rights, there have been a lot of just, I think, power grabs with it over time and a lot of restrictions of less and less. Sorry, looking at someone or.
Who, me? No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm thinking and I'm
All right.
translating in my head. I apologize.
There's been a lot of restrictions, a lot of power grabs to it. It used to have, I think at the most like 4 staff members, 15 commissioners at one point instead of 9. There was a period of time where the mayor at the time, Alan Wilson, actually restricted it to where instead of the executive director being chosen by the commission, it was then chosen by the mayor, and that took a few years for it to be reverted. And there's also just been a lot of stuff where, even though in city code it does say, diversity is important for it, and especially what it's meant for people of color in Muncie, even then there's just been a lot of mayors who just don't apply any diversity to it. And that's, to be honest, that's kind of where we're at right now. Not saying that's the core reason to do this or anything, or one of the main reasons to do it. That's the thing about human rights. I just want to point that out. But yeah, that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I mention one more thing? When I was talking about our ordinance.
Wait, for the mic.
Thank you so much. When I was talking about the representation on the Human Rights Commission, I might have forgotten to mention the word shall, because in our ordinance it says shall, and it mentions the different individuals that should be represented on the commission. And that is why I brought up the fact about the clergy, because religion is one of the shells categories. And see, right now, we don't have a clergy or anybody of religious representation on our commission. And I'm speaking from our ordinance itself, and that is why I feel that, I want to make sure that we have the proper representation on our commission, because that's what our ordinance says for that commission. So I can only speak to that portion of it, and this ordinance that you guys are looking at addresses that piece.
Thank
May
you.
I have a response? May I?
Yes, sir.
Miss Linda McWay, I was on that commission, and when was the besides this last time, which was a city council appointee, it was Mr. Andre Mitchell, correct? But we've always had clergy, and it was a council appointee, and if you are saying there's no clergy, I think we missed the ball here because we didn't appoint a clergy. So whoever, this goes to the mayor, and this goes to the council. So you are right, you're 100% right, but we've always, from when I was serving, we've had clergy. It was either the mayor appointed the clergy, if not, it was the city council. So we missed the ball on the clergy, but that's on us. Our last appointment was our appointment, not the mayor's appointment, just to be fair.
I want to address directly Rose's comments. I understand the argument, though I don't agree with it, that there are a lot of very civically minded people who are currently heading departments, who are currently serving on boards, who want to be involved civically, that are upset that this ordinance could affect that. I understand that argument. I do have an issue, however, with these allegations of some kind of conspiracy against the mayor, against department heads, saying all this stuff without being clear about what it is and without actually backing up your words.
Okay.
Words are just words.
If I may respond, how many times did you hear about that one lady's name on the Human Rights Commission brought over and over just this time?
I do not go to Human Rights Commission meetings, so I
but
cannot.
her name was brought up several times, or insinuation of that.
Okay, that's good.
Okay,
That's
so
good.
that
I'm
is
glad
the
you brought
response
that
to your
up,
question.
but
Over each other.
what'd you say?
I said, let's not talk over each
Okay.
other, one at a time.
Apologies.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm
done.
And again, I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm glad you're saying this. I mean, personally, I think it reaches a bit under this idea of a grand conspiracy. There's certainly maybe something there, but I feel as if, it's just disappointing. If you're gonna make these allegations, if you're gonna say these things, you should back them up. You should
I
be
agree.
clear about what is happening here, especially as citizens of the city of Muncie who may not be exactly aware of all of this. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone? Mr. Scaife?
Since you're addressing my comments, Ro,
Yes,
so my concern with that individual person,
yes,
because that person serves on the Human Rights Commission.
yeah.
And if a complaint was brought to the Human Rights Commission about the city, and that person working directly for the mayor, there's a high possibility that person will go back and tell the mayor what the complaint was. And the other issue was, you weren't at the meeting, at the Human Rights Commission meeting, when the executive director was suspended, and they were just trying to decide who's going to answer the telephones for the executive director. And that department head said, I can answer the phones. So my example was, if a call comes in with a complaint against her department, and she's answering the phone, what do you think she's going to do with that complaint? She's not going to answer the phone community development. She's going to answer Human Rights Commission. They don't know that they're talking to the person that they're making a complaint against. So that's just an example. But the example is, let's do something about it so that doesn't happen. So we're not just talking about this lady, this lady, this lady. That's just an example. So the way you fix it so it doesn't happen, don't put any department heads on there. That's the issue. So you taking it personal, and it's not.
No.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Terry Moore, and I wonder how many times people are allowed to come up and speak on a thing. Some have been up here too, and
I know, right?
it should be limited to one, shouldn't they?
Yes.
Limited to one.
One time speaking.
One time speaking, Audie. It's funny that some of the people that come up here and make the loudest comments about you, council, one doesn't pay any property taxes. The others are late on paying their property taxes. Anyway, that's beside the point. I think we've talked about this enough. Why don't one of you, why don't you call for the question? Somebody call for the question. We've talked about this long
Question,
enough.
please. I call question. Question,
Call
big one.
call for a question.
I called for a question.
Take a
We have
vote on
vote.
question. We have to take a vote on question being called.
Okay.
So you're making a motion to call question, because then we need a second and we need a vote on
Okay.
calling question.
Oh, wait, I have a question.
Counsel?
So
That
Motion
is
on the floor.
correct.
is this
It
gonna
is,
be,
it is time for the council to address these motions.
Yes.
is this gonna, are we gonna add a motion in terms of whether or not?
So we do go,
When
we
grandfathers-
do go to a second? We do have to.
Calling the question does require a second, yes.
Okay, do we have a second?
Yes, second.
Now we'll go to a vote.
Yes.
Okay. Roll call, please.
McIntosh,
No.
Basham,
Yes.
Mason,
No.
Dishman,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Selby.
Yes.
Julian,
No.
Powell,
No.
Green.
Yes.
5 yeses, 4 noes.
Give me a
That
moment.
was for
if-
question, was it
That
not?
was for question.
And now we have vote.
Could I have just a moment?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
It is affirmative vote of a majority of the council members present, 5. That means the question has been called and that motion has passed.
Okay. Now we vote.
So now we vote on
Yes.
the ordinance.
We do need a motion to adopt as amended since the amendment.
Okay.
So moved.
I'll second.
Selby,
No.
McIntosh,
Yes.
Golian,
Yes.
Basham,
No.
Dishman,
No.
Powell,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Garrett,
No.
Green.
No.
Oh.
4 yeses, 5 noes.
Unbelievable.
Now we need a motion to vote. So that did it.
Just this.
did.
This one. Next.
New ordinances. Ordinance 15-26.
Ordinance 15
Yes, Mr. Dishman?
I'd like to make a motion to withdraw this.
Wish to withdraw?
Withdraw it, yes.
Okay. Ordinance 1526 has been withdrawn.
Actually, council, with regard to a zoning ordinance, it requires a majority vote of the council to withdraw an ordinance.
Okay. So we need to vote on.
So we do need to vote upon that.
It can be, there can be withdrawal, but it needs to be voted on.
Okay. So we're voting on the withdrawal.
Yes.
Can I speak on
Roll call.
it? Can I speak on it?
Powell,
Yes.
Selby,
Yes.
Golian,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
McIntosh,
Yes.
Basham,
Yes.
Dishman,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Green.
Yes. Brings us to resolution 10-26. We need to have a motion to move out of committee. Do we have a motion?
I so move.
I'll second that.
We need to vote on that. Roll call.
Read the ordinance.
Dishman,
Just read it.
Go ahead and read
this is
the
to bring
ordinance.
it out of committee.
Bring it out of committee.
What do you want?
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Basham,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
McIntosh,
Yes.
Golian,
Yes.
Selby,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Green.
Yes. I need a motion to adopt resolution 10-26.
I'll
I make a
that
motion that we adopt resolution 10-26.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Any questions or comments from council? Have any comments from?
Can you read it?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. 1026, additional appropriation resolution of the Common Council of the City of Muncie, Indiana relating to Fire Station Number 5 project.
We have someone wishing to speak on this from the audience. Seeing no one? Roll call, please.
McIntosh,
Yes.
Selby,
Yes.
Dishman,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Gillian,
Yes.
Basham,
Yes.
Green.
Yes.
9 yes.
Resolution 1126, we need a motion to move off committee.
I'm so moved to move it off
Do we have a
committee.
second?
Second.
Resolution 1126, authorizing the entry by the City of Muncie, Indiana into a bot agreement and related documents for Fire Station Number 5 project and taking certain other actions related thereto.
We need a roll call to bring it off committee.
Selby,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
McIntosh,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Basham,
Yes.
Gillian,
Yes.
Dishman,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Green.
Yes.
9 yeses.
Now we have a motion to adopt Resolution 1126.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 1126.
I'll second that.
Anyone wishing to speak on this resolution? Yes.
I'd just like to have the financial people explain to the public what this actually does. I think a couple people were asking about it, so this would be a good time for them to explain it.
Gentlemen, if you could come forward.
Hi, Jacob McClellan with Bose, McKinney, and Evans. We're serving as your bond counsel. I thought Greg was in the audience and might speak to it. But this authorizes the construction contract, so this is separate from the financing. The financing is through the building corporation, and the lease is the kind of operative document for the financing. But this is to proceed with the build, operate, and transfer construction contract.
And can you explain that to the public, please? Build, operate, and transfer, what that says?
So Greg essentially is, if you award it to Greg Martz, it will essentially be, he'll be kind of your manager to build the fire station. He'll operate it for a portion of time, and then he will transfer it back over to the city, and there'll be a fixed contract amount in that contract.
Thank you.
Yep. Oh, sorry. Oh, Greg's here, sorry.
Good evening, Council. My name is Greg Martz. I'm with GM Development. Just so you know a little bit about the timing of what would occur after this, I know we've talked about this in previous council meetings, but just so you have it on the record and anyone who may not have seen those, it will take about 6 months to finish the design of the fire station. It will take about 15 to 16 months to construct it. While the design of the new station is occurring, there's a temporary station on Jackson that will be constructed, and it will take approximately the same time that it will take to design. So actually, there will be activity occurring very quickly. That temporary facility is where the Little Red Door used to be located, basically across from Wendy's on Jackson. That construction will take almost the same exact time that it'll take to design. So there will be activities occurring very quickly. And then what the thought process would be is by the time that the construction on the temporary facility is done, then the staff, the fire department can move out of the existing Station 5. And then the existing Station 5 would then be demolished, and that'd be when that roughly 14 to 16 month construction period would begin on the new station.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Mr. Martz, will the temporary structure be able to house the aerial truck?
No, it will not.
Why not? Just curious.
Just because of the size of the bays.
Okay.
Any other questions from council? Any other questions from the audience? Okay, roll call, please.
Mason,
Yes.
Dishman,
Yes.
Gillian,
Yes.
Basham,
Yes.
McIntosh,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Selby,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Yes. Moving on then to public comment. I want to remind you, public comment, you have 3 minutes to speak.
Miss Patty Goddard, please. I know.
The council is not to comment, we're to listen.
What?
We are to listen to what they have to say.
Was that voted
Take
on?
those. No, ma'am, it was not.
Does that require a vote? Mr. Murphy? We can do it next meeting, but I'm just curious why we can't address our constituents when they come to council to express their concerns.
The president has had a difficult meeting tonight. The president's putting in some limitations, which he's entitled to do. However, with regard to procedures of the meeting, we should probably at some point address some procedural requirements on these matters.
Thank you.
And perhaps some rules.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we move?
Yes, I sure will. It's a little heavy, but I think it's better up there anyhow.
Who started the timer? Has the timer started?
No, it has not.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you. I truly came just to give this statement, so I apologize that I contributed. Well, actually, I don't apologize. I meant every word I said, but I'm not going to introduce myself. But I do want to thank you, President Green, and members of the City Council, as well as the Clerk's Office, for allowing me to speak tonight. I do appreciate the opportunity to address you. The comments I am making this evening are, again, my own professional observations as the City Human Resources Director, and are not intended to represent the official position of the mayor, the City Council, or any other city official, department, or employee. The term public servant is one we use often, but I think it's worth taking a moment to reflect on what it truly means and what it does not mean. Every day, city employees come to work with one purpose: to serve the residents of Muncie. Whether they're answering phones, repairing streets, maintaining our parks, responding to emergencies, or providing countless other services, they are committed to serving this community with professionalism, courtesy, and respect. Public service is exactly that: service. But serving the public should never require accepting personal abuse. Recently, I witnessed an interaction between a city employee and a member of the public. The employee remained calm, respectful, and genuinely tried to help. Unfortunately, before they were ever given the opportunity to respond, they were met with profanity, personal insults, to include that of insults of her family members, accusations that had nothing to do with the issue they were trying to resolve. That interaction reminded me of something important, and it's been mentioned here tonight. Holding the government accountable, it's not only appropriate, it is essential. However, we welcome the questions, we welcome the concerns, we welcome constructive feedback, just as everyone in this room does. But there is a difference between disagreeing with government and personally attacking the people who are simply doing their jobs. Our employees are our neighbors, they coach our sports, they volunteer in our community, they attend local churches, and most importantly, they raise their families in this community. They deserve to be treated with the same dignity and respect they strive to show every member of the public. So before I conclude, I do want to do a brief reminder to fulfill my responsibilities under that code of ethics that I mentioned earlier.
I know I only have 3 minutes.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
You've gone over your 3.
Am I over?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Rita Falk, Mr. Rick Yancer. Where's Rick? Did he leave?
He went out to the restroom.
Okay. Can we, Miss Rita Faulkner, please? She left. She left, okay. Miss Karen Brubaker?
As you said, I'm Karen Brubaker. Didn't know if I would have anything to say up here this evening or not. I will say I'm disappointed because I feel like you voting down, unless I misunderstood something, the department heads, 1426. With just the people that came up here and are here tonight and talked and agreed with the people that were talking, I feel like you're not listening to your constituents and you're not representing us. And it was always my understanding that that's what you're here for. So I'm going to say that, and then I'm going to say, off the subject totally, but I've been here enough to hear a lot about the industry neighborhood and their lack of a community center for 20 years now, and I think you need to do the right thing and get them a community center in their neighborhood.
Is Mr. Yancer back? No?
I pass.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Bilbrey? Okay.
I was going to come up and apologize about getting upset earlier. And then I listened to you attempt to tell the council that they can't address us. I listened to your attorney say that this has been a difficult meeting. It's 9:12. It's not been a difficult meeting. We've been here till 2 o'clock in the morning before. That's a difficult meeting. This is not a difficult meeting. You guys are our public servants. We just heard about public servants. And while I might agree or disagree with what you should or shouldn't do to an employee of the city, I don't hold you, the elected public, the elected people in these seats, in the same position. I don't thank you for letting us speak. I thank our founding fathers. I thank the men and women who died for us to have this right, not you guys. If any of you served your country, thank you for that. But you did not allow me to speak here tonight. Our founding fathers did. You will not ever silence me. Maybe I came in here with a chip on my shoulder because I feel like you've been disrespecting me since you have set your butt in that seat. And yep, I said butt this time. Okay? Because, again, you refuse to communicate through email, and that's disrespectful. You sent one, and I praised you for it. That bit me in the ass. I shouldn't have done that. Because then when I sent you the next email, we're back to the same old nonsense. Again, you guys don't get respect because you're council folk. You get a baseline level of respect because you're human. Okay? Your level of respect dips because of how you treat us as elected officials. If you want us to speak, if you want easy meetings, just be easy. I am not an idiot. I'm not a mean guy. I'm not a bad guy. You're not in danger. We're all okay. But I will not be bullied by employees. And I will not stand for these people being bullied. I don't care what Terry has to say. Thank God he's not an elected official, I guess. But as long as you work for the people out here, you will behave a certain way. And if you don't, you will get your butt at. You'll get your ass slapped. Understand? Okay? You'll get it chewed on. And you'll get it every time. Now, I am done allowing fools to make me angry. Okay? I'm going to try to be more respectful. From this point forward, I challenge you to do the same. You failed on the email challenge. I'm still going to email you, and I still expect you to email me back. But if you want respect, give it.
Mr. Wainscaffe.
and I looked that up, Robert's Rule of Order said 2/3 votes to call a question for a question to pass. So in 2020, I gave all city council members a copy of that Hope 6 grant. I believe 5 of you are sitting up here now were part of that council. And I tried to explain to you guys what it was. I'm talking about the community center. Nobody, I gave you to the next meeting to ask me questions. Next meeting came, nobody had any questions to ask. So I'm going to explain what's some of the stuff that was in that Hope 6 grant for our community center. And the wording is taken directly out of that grant. These are all the things that were supposed to be included. Price Hall, to effectively deliver community and supportive services to Millennium residents. A community center. The South Madison Community Center serves the children and young adults of Munciana homes and the surrounding industry neighborhood. Notice it said industry neighborhood. A new 15,000 square foot building is proposed with classrooms, a computer learning center, meeting and recreation facilities, plus office space for community and supportive services. A child care center designed to accommodate 80 preschool-aged children. A grocery store, a 40,000 square foot urban grocery store to serve the Muncie Central Business District, East Central, Old West End, Industry, South Central Whiteley, and McKinley neighborhoods. That's everything that was supposed to have been included. All we're talking about is a community center. That was a $12.3 million project that we were supposed to get. Now we've been reduced from all of that stuff to just a community center, and on top of that, a raggedy building. And then in fiscal year 2008, Congressman Pence earmarked $343,000 for a new community center. It was $393. $393? Okay. And that money was spent during the Tyler's administration. We still didn't get it. So the last thing I want to say, I want to read this, hope it doesn't pass my time. This is also in the Hope 6 grant. The new Childhood Development Center and the South Madison Street Community Center will be located on a single site separated by a partially enclosed public plaza containing a small food court designed to serve the entire community. The public plaza will generate income from leases which will supplement the operations of the new South Madison Community Center. So when people are asking, how are you going to pay for it? It was all in the Hope 6 grant, how that was going to be paid for. So, and we just did away with this. So we need our center. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Rodney Vaughn? I'm sorry if I misspelled your last name. Could you correct me with your last name, please, sir? Vaughn, thank you.
You know, my thing is this. The mayor is not even here. The mayor is not even here. He heard his little stuff. He ran. This all involves him because of what he did. And that's not right. That's not right. We had to sit through all the other stuff, so why couldn't he sit through and listen to what we had to say? I have a problem with that. We pay for him. He doesn't pay for us. We voted him in. Oh, I didn't, but y'all probably did. But that's not right. Okay, first of all, I grew up in Whiteley. I had the Bewley Center, which is no more Bewley Center. It's the Boys and Girls Club. They took it over. Only because our mayor, the city's mayor, sold it to the Boys and Girls Club. That's one more community center gone. We grew up, I had Carl at the Multi. Grew up under him. Great person. They took that. They're taking all of our stuff. To me, I'm not trying to be racist, but it seems like it's in the minority neighborhoods where they're taking away from our kids. Our kids have nowhere to go. Then you wonder why they're getting in trouble. Then you wonder why they're running around here holding guns. Why they're doing drugs. Why they're into the same situations they're in. We can't fault us because we're doing our job as a parent, but we can't do it by ourselves. We need a community. It takes a village
It does.
to raise kids. Where's the village? When you take away everything that they have and need it, what else are they to do? But go to the streets. And I think it's wrong for the mayor not to be here to listen to us, telling him how wrong he was. He made a deal for a community center that's not even in the industrial neighborhood. That's not benefiting us. How's our kids going to get there? Because if they walk over there, it's going to be night when they come back. That's dangerous. The buses will be stopped running by then. So how are they going to get there? That's why we had the multi in a central location for all the people. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn.
Here, here.
Miss Daisy Dale.
I just want to say that so I'm trying to get some information about the Civilian Review Board because I know that disbanded a few years ago. So just if there's any information anybody has, just like feel free to reach out to me and let me know. I was curious with the community center because the memorandum for it said 1910 South Mock Avenue, and in the recent announcement this last week, it was 1912. So I was just curious if anyone knew the reason for it or not. Just.
I don't. I didn't even catch that.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah. Just approach me afterwards if you know. Also, if the renovations would make it ADA compliant or not, I was curious about that too. There's a very tall, set of stairs that go to it and everything. Yeah, and also like my last email. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Mr. Chip Taylor. Dr. Chip Taylor, I apologize.
That's okay, my wife's the only one I make call me doctor.
And that's in role playing, right?
I ain't saying.
He sure ain't saying.
All right, I know it's been a long meeting. I'll keep this brief. I wanted to say one thing about, I was glad to hear on, the rescheduled public hearing for Resolution 826 that the administration's committed to giving a full accounting to the questions from council. My council member Nora Powell is the only one I know. I know she's asked some pretty detailed questions, and what I'd heard so far, not gotten much response back. So I'm glad. We've seen the administration will show up and answer lots of questions when they want something, because it's important. Fire station's important, so they came and they answered your questions. The questions about these audit reports are important too, and so I hope Councilwoman Powell has everybody's support in getting those answers. The main thing I wanted to say was, so Cheyenne Reed made some nice comments about the importance of civic engagement, people wanting to get involved. The gentleman's on the Planning Commission. He talked about some stuff. I want to say that the ordinance, tonight, voted down aside, there are lots of other things that can be done to improve citizen engagement on some of these boards and commissions. And so, but the first thing I would tell people, not to wait to be invited. If you think you've got some, experience and expertise to bring to bear on some of these boards and commissions, then don't wait to be invited. Like Jeff Robinson said, go to Schaefer Leadership Academy, put your name in on GoServe. I don't know if that'll help, but I know it won't hurt anything. But I would also encourage you to email the mayor and your council members and let them know. And and also recognize too, it's once you do that, you're getting involved in small p politics. So people may have opinions about whether you should serve or not, and that's just got to be okay. But the council can do more, right? I mean, I've seen y'all before when you've had two people for one seat, and they were good, both good appointees. I've heard you say, boy, this is tough. That's a good situation to be in. You should want more appointees. I'll tell you something you can do. Rather than showing up in January and have it look like a real goat rodeo because you're not sure what's got to be appointed or this and that, you actually could back up to about October. And I'm pretty sure the clerk's office would put together a list for all the appointments you've got coming up in January. Now, I know there are some other like boards, like they're kind of off cycle, they come later in the year, but like, I think there's a point toward the end of one year where you know, like all the appointments and reappointments are going to come up the next year, and you could publicize that. People would know. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. The board and commission websites. So the guy from that's on the planning commission, he mentioned how hard it was even to, try and get engaged once he decided he wanted to. One of the problems is most of the pages you go to, they don't list who the members are. They don't list where their terms are. That's required by law. You can't find anything else. I know I'm about out of time, so I'll stop. The boards and commissions need to clean up their websites and make sure the information they need by law is there. Thank you.
Ms. Cassandra Woods.
.5 Good evening. My name is Cassandra Woods, and I'm here representing the children of the industry neighborhood, the neighborhood I was born and raised. I'm now 43 years old, proudly advocating for my community. In 2002, the city of Muncie received a Hope 6 grant that designated the industry neighborhood as the most distressed neighborhood in this city. That grant set aside $393,000 specifically to build a new community center there, because our children needed a safe place they could actually reach. That promise now 24 years old and still unfulfilled. Keep that in your mind. Last week, I attended the advisory committee meeting to present these facts. I was cut off after 3 minutes and told the room follows the same rule as city council, even though this is a small advisory meeting or advisory committee with no such requirement. The next morning, I saw Mayor Ridenour say in a video that a vote had been taken to place the new center at the Mock Street Church. I was in that room. There was no vote, there was discussion, and nothing more. Here's why the location matters so much. Mock Street Church sits outside the industry neighborhood. Census data confirms that industry is 63.7% Black children, compared to roughly 9.6% citywide. This is not a minor statistic. It means the neighborhood the Hope 6 grant was built to serve is overwhelmingly the same community that will be cut off from the resource it was promised, simply by moving the location outside of its boundaries. For our children without transportation, the walk to Mock Street Church is approximately 2.1 miles. That is not a walk you send a child on alone. The entire purpose of the Hope 6 grant was to serve the neighborhood identified as the most in need. A center built outside that neighborhood does not fulfill that promise. It breaks it, actually. And it breaks it specifically for the children the grant named. This isn't about convenience. It's about safety, access, and keeping a commitment this city has made to families who have waited over 2 decades to see it honored. I'm asking this council to look at the original grant documentation, confirm that no vote was legally taken on this location, and ensure that any final decision keeps this center where it was always meant to be, in the industry neighborhood, where for the children it was built for, and they can actually get to it. Thank you for your time.
Ms. Judith Hill.
I'm a Muncie citizen. First, I want to say that we need transparency coming from the top. The mayor is the top. Why would he go and give his State of the Union or whatever he called it and say that it was passed about this community center. Now, I know we have a loss of finance in Muncie, but this doesn't have anything to do with that center. That money was appropriated years ago. But people seem to forget this. We have neighborhoods. We have boundaries. We have maps. I want you to tell me, would the west side of Muncie allow their neighborhood center be placed out of their community in the neighborhood like they did us? Or trying to. We have been talking about this center for years, but nobody seems to say the right thing about it. Or else, either you wasn't born here, you don't know about it, or you think you have the power to keep it from being built. This is nothing new. We come here I've been coming to these meetings for years. What do? The people out here speak and talk the truth, and you sit up there and vote it down.
Amen.
Every time. You don't have to be an Einstein to know the truth and to follow the truth. The same people that band together, no, 4 of you, 5 of you, always band together. After these people spend all this time speaking what they want, not what you all want because of political affiliation. Something needs to be done. Is not, this city of Muncie is corrupt. You all know it. You all part of it. You need to do something about it.
Mr. Terry Moore, you put a, no, okay. Okay, thank you. Mr. Paul Partizano.
We can't speak at all.
He didn't want to. He just
No, I'm saying, why we can't speak at all.
Good evening. Paul Partizana from Muncie. And I hear everybody in the room talking, and I'm with you. That's not what I came up to talk about, but hey, don't give up. Don't give up. Let's do the right thing. I'm going to talk on a statewide and then a countrywide scope for a minute or two. It is now illegal to be unhoused in Indiana. A lot of our friends and family members are about to lose their Medicaid benefits. Rural hospitals are in danger of closing. Also, 3 U.S. Supreme Court justices are apparently okay with striking amendments from the U.S. Constitution merely by executive fiat. And we're in the midst of an illegal war that is taking the lives of many, including innocent children whose only crime was going to school. Now, I know the midterms are not the city elections, but early voting begins Tuesday, October 6th at 8:30 a.m. If you're as disillusioned as I am with our state and federal government, I urge you to be a part of the solution and vote for those who strive to be on the right side of history. Thank you.
Mr. Carl Malone.
Good evening, Board. First of all, Carl Malone, I serve on not only the City of Muncie's park system, but also industry neighborhood as the current president. So 2 years ago, we had a retreat in Angola, Indiana, and I think Dale Bashman represented the council. I think he was the only one that was there. At that time, conversation with the mayor was to right the wrong in reference to the community center being built being that it was torn down 20-something years ago. So from that, we fast forward to having conversation about how important it was to have the community center in Industry Neighborhood. We spoke about how long it had been down, and we spoke about the lack of communication with our residents. We've lost all contact with families during that time. So in 2012, under Dennis Tyler's administration, we were allowed to get the key, some insurance, and open up Garfield School. At that time, we had zero kids. It was probably 30 days or 60 days. We were up over 90 kids, and then by the end of a summer, we had about 260-some kids in that building, and they came from all over the community because we had some real good programming. One of the programs we had was the Gun Violence Initiative that we were awarded a grant by Old National Bank. We had billboards up around the city, and we had educational people coming in, teaching our community about how to report, the importance of reporting gun violence in our community. As you know, we're still plagued with gun violence. But I will say during that time, we had a real good handle on how to report. We lost the building due to some funding. There's not been a opportunity to have another meetup place to talk about that initiative. So when we talk about the importance of a center, the fact that we lost the center in Industry Neighborhood, that allowed us to have our meeting places and discuss any issues that we wanted to discuss. If we leave this building tonight and we want to have a meeting tomorrow, we don't have a meetup place to discuss our social ills. I'm a resident from Industry Neighborhood. I worked in the community centers when I got home from the military. I was at Bewley Center, I was at Ross Center, I was at South Madison Community Center, and we were promised a new building. And had I known that that wasn't going to happen, I probably would have stood in front of the wrecking ball when it hit South Madison Community Center, because we definitely was bamboozled to think that there was going to be a new center in Industry Neighborhood. And so for that, I would hope that we could, as a community, that we understand the importance of a community center being put in Industry Neighborhood.
Thank you.
Sorry, Miss Lynn Thornburg.
Whoops, okay. I always sign up just in case. Sometimes I have something on my mind when I come here. Other times I think if I don't sign up and something comes up, then I lost my shot. And one comment, because Ro, when you were talking, you said something to the effect that if something's wrong or there's a problem, then approach you guys and you'll work on it. And evidently that must have happened because a council person sponsored that ordinance that brought up the problem. And I'm sorry that it seemed like, just from comments, that it was specifically one person, but I think it was, to help the transparency and allow other people to serve, but not give the impression that the administration has a stronghold on the different boards and commissions that make decisions that impact our lives. And so that's my comment about that.
Thank you.
And we do need to figure out something for the homeless because there are so many people that, are unhoused, and we've just got to figure that out somehow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Audie Barber.
Oh, that's going to be a hard one to follow. Miss Thornburg, you stole my thunder. Shame on you. Okay, start my timer. Little Chicago. Let that sink in a minute, but not on my time. Little Chicago. That's the reason we're called that. I just hope the Ball State paperwork that you guys received is as better than the community center. It's another piece of paperwork.
I thought of that.
If you won't return emails, you won't address us here when we're asking you questions,
when the heck are you going to answer us? What gives you the right to do that? These folks want to speak. They're elected by us, not by you. Not by you. And if they want to speak, they have the right to speak. Walgreens may be a nice little building. It might be right outside of their area, but Walgreens on 12th and Madison would probably be a better selection than the church.
So,
Why are you shaking your head no and talking to somebody else? You're supposed to be listening to me.
who you talking to?
She knows who I'm talking to. How can we trust the council, like this lady said? How can we trust the council to help us when you had 7, 8, 10, 12 people up here wanting you to support Mr. Mason's action, Mr. Mason's introduction? You guys wouldn't even support it. How can we trust you to do that when you won't even support the people that's here talking about it? Some of you folks, and I'm not saying that it's a good thing or a bad thing, are only up there by 3 or 4 votes. You think these 7 or 8 or 10 or 12 people could change the tunes of an election? 3 votes. Think about it. 3 votes. And 5 of you guys told these people you didn't care what they thought about this. You just told them straight out, we don't care. We're going to vote for the mayor. Bullshit. Arrest me. Very disappointed in this council. I'm telling you what. I used to have a pretty bad attitude when I came up here. Very bad. You know, I mellowed out for a while. Did I not, Miss Powell? Oh, you can't answer that. You're not allowed to. You know, the city have paid several lawsuits off for stupid stuff like this. There's been other towns that's had to pay lawsuits off for stupid stuff like this. So you guys need to think about that. And if your attorney, great guy, like Mr. Murphy. But if he's too lazy to sit there for 2 or 3 hours, maybe he needs to resign too. Turn your paperwork in, folks. Turn your paperwork in. If Monday night, once a month, is too busy for you, then turn your paperwork in, resign your post, because most of you will not be elected again. Thank you.
Mr. Terry Moore.
Terry Moore. I'm a city, born and raised in the city of Muncie. I am a taxpayer. I actually pay property taxes, and I pay mine on time. Several things, we have a school board member here. When I was a kid, we had recreation in schools. Why can't the schools have recreation like we did back in the 60s? I think that would be a good thing. It's a shame that the people that want you guys to respect them don't seem to want to respect you guys. You guys are city employees too, just like the lady talked about, the HR lady talked about the person that was being berated, but they stayed calm. You guys shouldn't have to be berated like that from somebody that just doesn't like you because of who he is, gives him fodder. That's what he wants, is fodder. Good for you for not answering his emails. So that's all I have to say.
Cut people off when they ran their mouth about private people from the public.
I didn't say your name. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. I didn't say your name.
You said this conversation.
Point of order, point of order.
Miss Janetta Presley.
Order.
We're gonna be on the internet.
Yeah.
I'm Janetta Presley, and I live here in Muncie. I'm a peer recovery coach. I'm here because we have lost a member of our homeless community. Brian Bernard passed away. So he was one of my guys that lived in my house. He's around my neck. badly, especially our homeless and mentally handicapped. He qualified for mental health care. And so we were working on that with medication, but he did not qualify for regular health care. And the medication they were giving him for the mental health took away all of his potassium and magnesium in his body and gave him a heart attack and killed him because he didn't qualify for medical care and only mental health. So we lost him. He was on life support. He did really well. He graduated, and he was off of in-house arrest. He got married. He'd been married for 2 years. He did really great in our program at our house, and he had a job. He was doing well, and he was very young for this to happen to him. So we need to do something about this. Because now it's very close to me. I've lost one of my guys that I have taken a lot of care of. So, yes. And as you know, I'm still on hospice. I'm still not working. I have resigned from the church as the meal. I'm not doing the meal anymore. But something needs to be done, and I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. But I just want you to know that we need to do something for mental health and regular health, because he qualified for mental health care, but he did not qualify for health care because of his work and his wife's work. So, thank you so much. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Is it? Mm-hmm.
President, can I say something real quick? Yes. Can I say something real quick? I'm speaking to everyone that came out today in support of the Industry Neighborhood Youth Center. I appreciate y'all coming out. The thing is, and Mr. Malone can attest to this, that our back's against the wall. When he stands up and promises that he's going to give the $500,000 or the park, it didn't matter. If whatever they want to do at Mock, I have no problem with that. But you needed to do the right thing first, what you said you were going to do. The council voted 9-0 that they wanted it in there. And so I'm going on record. If we're not going to put it in industry, I am no longer on the committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Entertain a motion for adjournment of the meeting.
So moved. I'll second that.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned.